Jer si milostivi čovekoljubiv Bog i tebi slavu uznosimo, Otcu i Sinu i Svetome Duhu, sada i uvek i u vekove vekova.
In a world of shadows and secrets untold, where primeval stories make the brave go cold, mighty gods are high and realms below, whispers of legends that shape each soul. And nightmarish dreams, cryptids lurking, nothing's as it seems. Giants walking, angels and demons fight. Only truth can bring the light. Through the echoes of time, the tales unfold. Mysteries arise as the prophecies are foretold. From valiant knights to buried treasure, this podcast brings nothing but pleasure. Welcome to mysteries and majesty. Study with us and don't be a travesty. Theology, mythology, fantasy and horror. Dungeons and dragons, Skyrim and Mordor. And Mordor. The powers haunt the evening in gothic castles where they're screaming. Wizards cast spells in their towers tonight, exploiting enigmas hidden from our sight. Archaeologists make excavations deep of the ancient tombs where pharaohs sleep. In the dust of ages we chronicles keep, storytelling's power of monsters that creep. Mysteries and majesty is the place for you to learn about this haunted space. From scholarship to manuscripts of old, unlock the secrets of wisdom and gold.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 155. I'm so thankful that I got to connect with my friend and occasional partner on the podcast, PJ, who has been gracious to dedicate some of his busy time for us tonight. Namely, PJ helped Sean and me, especially me, in the past when we were assessing several video games. As people who love games but don't have enough time to game, yet we do sometimes. It has been always our passion. Well, let's connect the worldview, the world building, the themes, the messages in video games, as well as other types of media, including novels, comic books, or anything of that sort, and try somehow to connect it with the world building and theme of the Bible. Is there salvific, theme? Is there a hero? Is there good and evil? Usually there is. Is there light versus darkness? Are there monsters? Are there demons? Are there spirits? And if so, how do they portray the message of the Bible? So our goal is, of course, to always enjoy this type of art, which video games are, and also as Christians to see how we can parallel this with the Bible. So we have prepared 8 best indie games for tonight, and I have on the list more than 50 titles. So we'll probably do sequels occasionally, as both PJ, Sean, and I have time. So for that, we have prepared 8 titles. But before we start enjoying with those, and those 8 titles, I would just like PJ to reintroduce himself and tell us how is he using his creative skills by God to build the kingdom of God? Because I think what he's doing is so amazing, and I have included his links to this episode, description. So please support our brother and get some of his products. They're amazing, 100%. I'm not exaggerating. So yeah, PJ, welcome. And can you please share something about your work?
Hey man, first, thanks for inviting me. It's really good to be back. There were so many times when I just wanted to and we just couldn't connect, with the new job and everything. So I really appreciate being back and loving and hating you at the same time for the list of games you're about to add to my Steam account. But all jokes aside, it's really fun going through all this stuff with you. I've been a gamer since NES. So like when Nintendo first came out, I was hooked. Been games ever since. But the last 5 years or so, I've been developing my own settings, and they're all Christian-based settings. And it's basically we can still have all that fantasy and fun that Dungeons and Dragons do, but we could still point everything back to God, right? So we can still take our world and then help explain all the biblical narratives that are kind of a mystery to us still even now, and not that we're explaining them, but we can have fun with some of those elements. So I kind of use these settings to obviously use Genesis as a measuring stick and the whole Bible as a measuring stick, antediluvian in general is in Genesis. But I try to do that and give us our own little outlet where we can embrace who we're meant to be by God. We can still take on the monsters that lurk in the night, and we can still take down the demonic forces that are waging war against us today. And it just kind of puts us in that frame of mind. I would hope that we always question those things. So like even in the games that we're about to watch, people tell stories, but you can't outcreate the creator, right? So when we are watching these stories or we're playing these games, we can use those and tie back to, okay, well, obviously all our creativity comes from the most creative person that ever exists, God is, in spirit and body, and you just can't outcreate him. So if we could just link everything we see others do and correlate them back to to the gospel and to the Bible and just God in general, I think that's a win. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with all my settings. I'm just antediluvian. You yourself are a character in my tribulation setting. So you and Sean, y'all are the only two people that I know that are in any of my settings. So,
can you please clarify this for the audience? Actually, PJ was so kind that when he heard about us last year about the channel, I don't know how, I forgot randomly, and he became acquainted with Sean, and he was just typing comments, giving us compliments, encouraging us as a brother who didn't know us. And then when we became friends online, he introduced Sean's and my character in one of his tabletop board games as fictional characters. So, man, it's such an honor. I forgot, because this was a while ago when you sent us that PDF. I believe that both Sean and I are some type of, he's more of a monk warrior, and I'm more of a was it like detective warrior? I forgot what.
Yeah. So, all right. So it's that y'all are in the tribulation setting, right? So that's like end times, right before the Great Tribulation. So things are really going down. Things are getting hard. Christianity is outlawed. The church has moved underground. It's an underground movement called the Olive Branch Syndicate, and you are, or your character is, which you would consider the president of that organization. So like, there's your character is the figurehead of the underground church, and you are basically responsible for the whole world of trying to get the gospel and organize all these places, to for people to go out and minister in the face of everything that's going on. And Sean's character is basically your right hand, but he's the militant aspect of you. So he's the one that kicks in doors and goes and retrieves the team if they wind up in a spot they can't get out of.
Man, I love it. I'm so excited about all of your projects because what you shared with Sean and me last year a couple of times with different projects, they're like top class, very professional. And I hope one day when you finish with everything, we can have you just to talk about your tabletop Christian themes, because those PDFs are thick with beautiful images, so many rules, so many things. It's like someone has to appreciate it. Someone has to back you up. I will hope and pray God sends you sponsors and donors, because what you're doing by yourself, and yes, you have a help here and there, but like what you do, everything for free, and how big is the project, it's worth it's worthy of those multi-million companies that they're doing and trying just to take money from people. But for you, you're like, no, God gave me skills and passion, so I want to use them and build this Christian-based tabletop and board games. So I pray and hope God blesses you. But when it comes to tonight's topic, when it comes to the indie games, again, these are just 8 games that we plan to cover for tonight. I'll be fast forwarding. We'll be trying to cover every game in 15 minutes so we can cover 8 titles in 2 hours. And then in the future, we'll cover more and more if people like what we're doing instead of spending 2 hours per one AAA game. So the first game is called 9 Souls. Okay, let me just... okay, this is Cat Maximo. Okay. Maybe we can start from the beginning. Okay. Skipping the introduction. And this is called 9 Souls. PJ, do games like this bring you back into the past in your childhood when we were playing games like this on arcades or maybe the Sega or Sony, like Sony One or something like that?
Yeah, as soon as this came up, I was like, I had a memory recall of Double Dragon, and I was like, there's something special about these side-scroller games, and I have to say, I probably haven't played one since 3D came out. But there's just something unique and lovable about side-scroller games that will never be topped. And I think our modern generation probably will never get that feeling. Like my son, I don't think he would ever enjoy games like this. And who knows? But it's, I don't know. It's almost like a little sacred memory that we get to keep, and then just live on through these new games that keep coming out.
Yeah, I also want to say I want to compliment the designers from the very beginning. If you would just game and I want to finish the game, if you don't pay attention to small details like this one, this is why I paused the game. You see the tree with all these eyes, like the author of every game, just like the God of the Bible, the designer of this world and the cosmos. They're intentional symbols, signs, and images that if you're too fast to go through this life, you don't see them, or if you're so-called blind. But if you pay attention, there's symbolism in every work of art. It can be a painting, it can be a novel, it can be a video game. Authors always leave their signs. They always leave something to make you think about, like the same in the movies. So I just want to say how I appreciate that when you see work of art. First, the game is beautifully looking. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the details were, manually, drawn, or it's not just, basically, computerized. I also appreciate when I see animated movies and cartoons they're like more like this. They're more giving you the soul, the vibe of the vivid colors and life. It's almost like, I can imagine myself being there. It's not like AI. So I appreciate this. And I was always looking to find gameplays without commentaries, right? So that we can have some time. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward again. Man, did you see how he was hacking? He did a sign like this.
Yeah, using his cheat.
Yeah, like doing something spiritual, like using his abilities. That also speaks volumes. Like again, every video game, every novel, every movie has its own religion and theology. Every. And sometimes people make mistakes by seeing these cartoonish characters. They would think, oh, this is just for kids. But these games are not just for kids. They can be actually so much more challenging that it will be actually more for adults than for kids. Yeah, this is like in Kung Fu movies. Did you see the way he is walking?
Yeah, he was doing like the Naruto run up the wall instead.
Okay, we have tentacles. We have Cthulhu. Something is
I
happening.
thought I saw tentacles in the background for that first level.
Hmm. So pay attention spiritually. This is a place of. It almost looks like the place of the dead, of ghosts, of demons. Like there's no light, there's no
Just
green,
flip
there's
this
nothing.
right. I like that little twirl when he jumps.
Oh. That timing. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And these sounds of their sleeves moving, and you can hear this is so much like 70s and 80s kung fu movies. Okay, so he's learning new stuff, new abilities. The video is like 11 hours long, and we're trying to cover in 15 minutes. So of course I have to fast forward. Okay, this is more interesting with water. Yeah, this is a very Eastern religion-oriented video game.
Absolutely. That thing reminds me of something from Sonic.
It reminds you of what?
I think it's from Sonic the Hedgehog. Those little bees that they're like drill bees or something that sting you.
Okay.
You might have the wrong game though.
Oh, that was so cool. When I was a kid, what I hated with these moving platforms in games like, well, not just with Mario, with so many other games like Wonder Boy, it's like they can trick you. They can fold out suddenly or disappear in thin air. This could be also clouds sometimes. And then you had to go like all the way back at the beginning of the level or where they would like automatically save, because with the arcades you couldn't save. Do you see him glowing? I was just reminded, scientists published an article recently saying that there's an evidence that humans emit a small portion of light from our bodies, from our aura, if you want to call it that way. And the moment when we pass away from this life, when we die, that light disappears. So this was in a scientific article that I read, not this week, but I think the last week.
I didn't hear that. That is bizarre. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can Google it. It's not just one article. They're different articles with the same topic. It was like, wow. It's like, how would they even able to record it? It's fascinating. I like science. See, as he's advancing, he's more powerful, and he can use those, spiritual powers in a way that he couldn't do before. So again, this reminds me, in every religion, you have this, like life of the believer, of a disciple, who is just getting through this process of sanctification and serving his or her deity or philosophy, and then the more he or she's involved, he or she gets more deeper in that lifestyle, in not necessarily powerful, but you're just like more in tune with that philosophy and teaching. So that reminds me when I'm looking at how he's able, the character, to become more and more powerful in his spiritual ability. Oh, that was cool. Okay, I'm fast forwarding. Okay. Okay, the secret passage. I love this part. You see how they're drawing these characters, probably their famous ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah, or legends like in the back.
The giant Nephilim in there.
Yeah, or this will be like in their own type of religion, in their own philosophy. This will be their version of, they're either deified ancestors or their own gods, or maybe not even gods or ancestors, but maybe just like you said, giants, and they're standing like either descriptions on the wall, like frescoes, or maybe as statues. Still, again, this is one of the ways how artists are sending their messages, but you have to pause and reflect. You're just reading a novel so fast, or if you're just watching a movie, for fun, or if you're just playing game for fun, you won't see necessarily these details, but this is what makes the game even better.
And just for being like two-dimensional art, it's really beautiful. Like, it's really done nicely. Everything is shaded. It looks like it's shaded, It's really nice. That's a very interesting feature.
So you would consider buying the game, right?
I don't know if I would play it, but yeah, it's pretty. I would support them for sure. I think when I got Donkey Kong, I kind of tapped out on two-dimensional. I was like, this is enough.
Dude, he's smoking something, getting his energy like restarted. Like he's getting full on his energy almost when he's smoking. I'm wondering if he's smoking the same thing that Gandalf was smoking in the Lord of the Rings. If that's
Right, a little bit of that halfling leaf.
Oh, he got smashed.
Yeah, see, he's dealing with much more at this level at once.
Yeah, but he also became more powerful because the sword about a minute ago that he was able to put to display, that sword was bigger than his body. So yeah, the enemy is growing, but he's also growing. Okay, I think I'll stop here because we don't want to spend too much time on just one game. Okay, question that I'll be asking you by the end of every game before we continue to the next one. What is your conclusion when it comes to the spiritual, theological, biblical worldview of this game?
So this game is obviously Eastern religion, which, you know, I can't put words in my mouth because I know Eastern religion has very different views on whatever, you know, they follow. You know, we follow one God. So I don't know how that translates to them, and I don't want to speak out of turn. But it was beautiful, but you can see that aspect of their religion built into their game, you know, and hopefully Jesus reveals to them who he is, and you know, that they can see the real God that, you know, created everything, the supreme creative one. And you know, we don't know who they are. You know, they just might really love Eastern, you know, Eastern lore, Eastern mythology, stuff like that. But you know, that's, as us Christians, I feel like that's what we should be doing too. We, you know, how many people are going to play that game and be like, "Oh, that Eastern religion's awesome." Well, why can't we make a game and people are like, "Wow, that's in the Bible? Like, that's awesome." Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I think that even though I'm not a parent, but I don't think we should be necessarily that much strict. Like, oh, this is not Christian, we shouldn't read it or play it. We shouldn't go there because we also need to allow kids to experience something unless it's sinful. Like, hey, this is part of the world, pop culture, learn about this, but learn to put it in a proper category. It's not sinful to enjoy it, but just learn where it belongs. So I think that balanced view is the proper one for Christian parents. Okay, the next game is very famous. It has 1 and 2. We'll cover 2 next time. I know it has the bad name. I know it has bad connotation. I didn't pick it because of the name, but because the game is so popular and fun. So our job is not necessarily to agree with the title or even with the theme of the game, but just to analyze because it's one of those mega hits and see, hey, like, what's up with this game? So that being said, let's start reviewing this game.
Because it is my guilt,
And
I
I'll
claim
have
your
to
grievous miracle.
we can already tell it's a game of similar play style, but this is set in a different world. It's more medievalish. It's more fantasy. It's more like, you know, swords and, you know, different type of
More
game
like dark
style.
fantasy. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, dark fantasy would be the proper terminology. But it's the same thing. You're jumping, you're, you know, slashing your enemies, and eventually every few levels you have a
Thou
boss.
hast called upon the winch of the order of the true shrine.
In this place, we gather the remains of those who were separated and forgotten, so we can grant them holy burial, as our charitable rule prescribeth. Help us these poor souls. O penitent one in silence, the order blesses you. In this place, help us these poor...
That's funny. Okay, let me fast forward a little
Let
bit.
us be captives of the miracle, penitent one. Do not be surprised to find this merchant here. This ancient occupation requires me to be wherever I can obtain rewarding benefits. Call me Candelaria, for what I sell would...
Nice. That's like Castlevania.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like Castlevania. You can see it's like different passages, even the underground of a castle with these chandeliers, and it's really nice. And this is intentionally done to look like it was made in '90s, even though it's a relatively new game.
Yeah, I dig the art style. I like that whole. I think it's 32-bit style.
Man, look at that ghost phantasm, whatever it is. Oh, he can. Okay, I didn't know if he would need spiritual power for combat. Ooh, that was cool.
That was cool. Okay, look, he's got 3 charges of magic. Or whatever.
Yes, smash it.
Dude, is that like a floating?
Yeah, they put him in a trap, but you have to come this way anyway.
That's insane. And that dude's got a candelabra. Man, that's awesome. That's a wicked design. They're literally fighting with candelabras. Just got a new monster for my game.
He acquired empty bile vessel. That's funny.
In my visage, melt
I wonder if this is the boss.
nutrition of your soul. Heart of guilt, return now from the dream.
Okay. No, it was an NPC.
You have carried out the first humiliation of penance.
Oh, he's doing different tasks to like get forgiveness for his sins. Again, every work of art is different religion.
Last holy visages. Sorrowful be the heart, penitent one.
Okay, that's like a shrine. Okay, I get it. Oh my gosh.
Blessed are the eyes that with devotion see my tormented heart. Let the ones who are joyful in affliction and fasting come to me, for they are pleasant penance. 6 sting pains lance my flowery breast. Take the first one and purge one of your 6 mortal stains of the soul.
You know, I'm not Catholic or Orthodox, but I hope this is not some perverted version of Virgin Mary. I'm just hoping it's not.
Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed like.
Okay, let's move a little bit further. Okay, now they're in a forest. Oh, he got killed. He got excommunicated. Beat tainted by guilt. Again, very religious video game. Why isn't he fighting?
I don't understand. Is he trying to get killed for the reset or something?
You know what? Because we didn't follow the story and I'm skipping. I don't know if part of this level is like not to fight back, maybe to get like supposed beating up for your sins. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
Or maybe he can't fight them. I don't know. But then I would just assume like, hey, dude, maybe skip over them. I don't know. Okay, he's trying over and over again. So let me fast forward. Ooh. Oh,
Jeez.
that was so efficient. That was almost on the level of Doom.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like everything that he's fighting is a perversion of,
Of the holy.
Of the holy.
Yeah, these are like unholy angels or demons or whatever.
So they got, is it four wings?
Yeah, I think that's why the game is called Blasphemous, but I don't know if the dude is also the main hero, if he's also an anti-hero, like the one who is also blasphemous, or he's fighting in a world where blasphemous themes and beings are being portrayed, and he's a true hero, even though he looks weird, but he's fighting them. So I hope that's the thing. If he turns out to be killing demons and people who are, I mean, not people, creatures that are perverting everything holy and biblical, it can be also, if that's true, the game can be partially being understood as a Christian game. I mean, in a way.
Yeah, so is she ringing a bell in that white? Straight there. Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that creature, the nun, if she could be, killed. Okay, here's another shrine. So let's skip forward.
Are these like, I guess they're like save points?
Are they what?
Save points? I think he's saving his progress.
Yeah, they could be. That makes sense. Yeah, because they appear every once in a while. We saw similar thing with the Monkey King, the video game that Wukong, that Sean and I were covering. Yeah. And of course, this type of enemies, like the one that is rushing against him, are very hard to kill in every game because you can hurt them, you can harm them from the front side. You have to come behind. Ooh, these are like bloody steps. I wonder if he's entering purgatory, hell, or whatever was in the mind of the designer of the game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at. It's like he's in purgatory because he's trying to do all this penance.
Yeah,
find his way out, I guess.
Yeah, so the game must be very deeply Catholic, right, or anti-Catholic, but that's the religious understanding.
That's what it's based on. Yeah, because he had the rosary and all that. I saw in one of the movies.
Okay. He's back to this place. Ooh. Okay. Wow. What in the what is that?
Is
I
that a
can't see.
dog or a deer?
I was about to say he's holding an animal and slamming, you know, the
I
so-called.
think it had antlers. I think it was a deer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the whole game is very dark.
Well, the nuns or whatever they are, they seem like they die really easy.
Man, check this out on the left side. What is that? What is she holding? Hmm. Oh, this is cool. Esdras of the Anointed Legion. Again, very biblical.
Yeah. But she doesn't look very monstrous.
No.
Makes me wonder.
Yeah, you would expect with that name maybe to be either bigger, more powerful, or to look maybe more like a beast or like a demon or something. Oh wow. The level is called the Sleeping Canvases. Okay, I think we'll stop soon because of the sake of time, because it's so easy to get lost in in the gaming.
Yeah.
It goes so freaking fast. He acquired knot of rosary rope. Again, very Catholic. Mother of mothers. Okay. Yeah. Actually, the music is cool now. Oh my gosh. These are the same enemies from before, but they got bigger. And this again reminds me of the life of a believer. The more you're growing, the bigger is the obstacle and the enemy ahead of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh. Didn't see that coming.
Nail uprooted from Christ. Okay. Well, I'll stop with this, and I just wanna. Any concluding thoughts on this? We saw that the game is very Catholic or anti-Catholic, and you being a parent, like I wouldn't know if I would recommend this game as a Christian. Like, if this game, I'll have to learn the lore in the beginning. We skip the intro. If the game is not mocking Catholicism, the Bible, Christianity, if I'm a parent, I'll be like, yeah, my son, you can play the game, just be careful. But if the game is mocking everything holy, biblical, religious, I would say, even though it's fun, let's find an alternative to this game. That would be basically what I would think. But what is your understanding comparing to the world building and the spiritual overall theme of the game called Blasphemous compared to the Bible?
So I would not let my kids play this game on the basis that regardless of what the lore is supposed to be, through that and of course we're skipping. So like we're skipping a lot of stuff, but there was no clear identifier that he is a hero trying to dismantle all of this evil. It kind of seemed like he's just a terrible figure going through a terrible world. So it seemed like it was blasphemy on both accounts, and not like him trying to defend, defend the clearly Catholic or Orthodox, worldview of the Bible. So I can't defend. I can't defend from that perspective, even though I was christened Catholic. But yeah, that won't be on my list.
Yeah, well, you're commenting and I am on a Reddit page where they're discussing about the video game and their different opinions. People say, is it blasphemous? Well, maybe. Well, this, well, that. Think about this. They're just going by Catholic theology. Some people say, they find it more offensive. But the other people say, well, no, they're just using Catholic theology to go by when making the game. But so I don't know. So I will have to dig deeper. But overall, let's put for a second spiritual theme outside the game. For the sake of nostalgia, let's say the game is not blasphemous at all. Let's say that's the title, and the hero is a good one who's trying to do some good religious acts. I would say, oh well, if I like nostalgic games like this one, arcades, platform games with a lot of hacking, slashing, jumping, I'll say, okay, this can be fun, but I'll have to dig deeper into the worldview. Okay, that being said, I have another cool game for tonight. It's called Tales of Iron, and it's a very cute little game.
Crimson Keep climbed ever higher toward the sky. But as time passed, King Redis the Savior grew old, and the kingdom vulnerable once more. His people grew anxious, some claiming to perceive a faint...
I'm going to skip a little bit when they're starting to fight.
Such a cool little style. It's like that paper puppet kind of animation.
Yeah. So check out the name of the boss, Greenwort Warchief of the United Frog Tribes and Slayer of Kings.
That is epic. Oh, that's epic.
It's like 10 words in a title. I have to say from the get-go, I like the atmosphere in the game.
Woke this time from a
The atmosphere very
blood and frog spawn, finding he had neither a crown, nor a kingdom, nor a father. He needed a place to recover, somewhere to make a plan.
Okay, he's going underground because he's not strong enough to fight them. Makes sense. This is probably the only video game where you're, in my opinion, allowed to sympathize for Red and actually love them. Like,
Yeah.
Otherwise,
It's a beautiful game, and the play of light is insane.
I'm curious, how will he get his first equipment, what will he use, what piece of equipment to get, if he's getting armor, helmet, anything of that sort.
Yeah, you would think he could use little bug things as like armor or shield.
Oh, look at his fancy shield.
And I like how they use that glow effect so you can see him better in the dark areas.
And there are even graffitis. Rat graffitis.
See, this whole time you thought rats chewed through walls, but they just use little swords.
See, there's so many things I can learn from this game about rats that I didn't know.
And frogs, because apparently they're murderous.
Yeah, frogs are obviously way stronger than rats. Ooh, that was so nice.
Was good.
Man, that frog has a thick head.
Even the language is good.
That was some nice red beer. And again, he's drinking beer to get stronger. Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah, all their names are really cool.
Oh, he's calling for help when he's blowing the horn. He's like, one of those Viking stuff.
It's like you got, it's almost like you got little samurai gear on now.
I mean, his sword is as big as a spear. But look at our hero. He got a different weapon and a helmet in the meantime.
Yeah, he's got armor. I think the shield's different.
You got that Ephesians 6 armor, right? Oh, he got bow and arrows. That's so cool. He's going full Legolas. Man, such a cute graphic.
Yeah, and you know what I kind of really like is there's no like over the top abilities. It's literally you're a rat doing what you can to get through this world, and it's just got, it seems like just limited kind of moves, limited abilities.
Getting the old rat to part with some coin was no bad idea, considering the funds needed to.
I also like how in the background you can see actually the whole world. It makes it more real. Like it's not just static. It's not just that. It's not just like sky or night. It's actually, you can see walls. You can see smoke. You can see people, whatever, other animals in the background. You know, it
like
just
multi-layered. Yeah.
Yep. It's like reading the Bible and finding layers, more gems. The more time you spend digging, analyzing, discerning,
Yeah. Read that verse 20 times and you read it 21 times and you're like, oh, I never noticed it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, did you see how the color of the screen changed when he almost died. It became gray.
Yeah.
So he drank ale. The colors came back. It's so cool.
Oh, he's got an axe now. Look at that.
Oh, again.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's almost out of liquid. But it looks like it fills itself up.
Ooh, look at this machete. Nice.
What is this game called?
I think he has to go. Well, he got the map to go see how to do, what to do to help him with the next task. So I'm wondering, because we saw on the map there's more when it comes to the underground, more levels. So we're just wondering if he has to go underground again. This is actually basically like RPG games that we like playing, but instead of 3D and being in first person, we're just watching 2D.
Yeah, but it's also like the stuff in the front of the screen, like all the shadowed trees that are like in front of your vision. It's just like that, like the grass. It just takes it into like a two-dimensional side scroller into like this weird three-dimensional field.
Yeah, they really did a good job.
Had found the library and seen a book of blueprints there. He also thinks he's found a way out.
And this is Tales of Iron 1. There's also Tales of Iron 2 just came out recently, so we'll cover that next time.
The book wasn't just buried. The whole grand library was abandoned.
The whole books. It's like the Alexandrian library. And again, it's always the frog.
Red word.
I think the author of the game hates frogs. I mean, I have no other explanation.
He's got a collection of small rodents in his house, and he feeds them with frogs. Makes me want to look up if like, is this a thing? Rats and frogs, do they not like each other?
Yeah, it makes you want to Google. And the enemy is called Staba Staba, like stab, Staba Staba.
Dude, look at their sword, man. Yeah.
Oh, it's like Trident, the one that will be in Aquaman, the one that will be God Poseidon, like possess it, right? Yeah, usually any deity in mythologies that wield that weapon, they're associated with water.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was nice. Knock in the head. Oh, nice combo. Nice. Ooh. Oh, like fatality. Okay, we're almost done with this game. Man, look how many levels it has.
This strange device.
PJ, your spiritual, theological, biblical thoughts, if there's any, compared to this game. For me, I just like the way he's enhancing his armor, like we're told in Ephesians, right? To improve, to put all the armor and weapons of God, you know. So I like how he's like this little hero that is like fighting the bigger guys, and he's slowly progressing. As much as he's progressing, then he's able to fight more and bigger enemies, and to actually get into more complex situations. They're more challenging and still get us victorious, which is basically us. Without Christ, we are nothing, and because of him, we can be victorious over more spiritual powers and forces in this life. That's how the game parallel this, because we hear this, we see this little one also, like almost like David, like, who are you to fight these big frogs?
It's
Yet
exactly
he manages level to beat them off. So that's my take. But what do you think?
Yeah, and that was my train of thought. The David and Goliath story. You're just a little bitty rat, that obviously the world could care less about. His world is rats and frogs, but it didn't seem like he was the hero. It didn't seem like he was the chosen hero at the beginning of the story. And maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not the case. But for whatever reason, he took up his sling and decided to go slay some giants. So, we should have faith in ourselves through Christ, and that's what it gets you.
Cool. I want to say this is one of my favorite games. I played it and I almost finished it. I didn't play it in at least a year. I just stopped. It's such a fun game. It's extremely addicting. So if you don't have time, don't sit and play it. And I know it says only 2 hours, but trust me, exploring left and right, dying, resurrecting, playing again, it will take more than just mere 2 hours. It's such a good game. Okay, I have to skip. Sorry.
Nobody really knows what happened over there. But the story goes that the local gangsters peddled some bad hooch, turning the entire city into a bunch of crazy cannibalistic freaks.
Wow, for real?
Yeah, I kid you not. Zombies did. In the end, the army gassed the entire town with everyone in it. The whole area has been quarantined ever since.
That's freaking whack, man. So where does our little pal here fit in?
Well, there was only one guy who miraculously keep it together, man.
So from the very beginning, we can see that the graphic is impeccable and the atmosphere is so much fun. You have all these type of weapons. It's like you can annihilate your enemies in so many different ways. I really had fun playing this game. With pistols, you have an unlimited amount of ammunition, so you don't have to worry with that. But of course, pistol is the less powerful weapon of choice. So this is the sequel, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. I never played one. This is the sequel too. These are tough. This is also tough. Yeah. Okay. Well, he killed him.
I love how it's just so much chaos. It's insane.
He was supposed to shoot in that big ball. Okay. Finally, he was thinking, hey, maybe I should do this. Okay, let me fast forward because the game is so much fun. Yeah, now he has a shotgun.
The shotgun doesn't play.
Yeah, but it's imperfect because it cannot go too far. And he's almost dead. He needs to get energy. So good. Okay, he has a little heart over there. Nice. Nice. He almost died. Now he's like an opera. The game is very visually creative, beautiful, truly beautiful indie game. Makes me want to go and play, but I came to the very end when it gets all freaking hard. You're in some storage, and like gazillion of them are coming up to you, and you have to jump and shoot, and like, oh, so it gets so difficult, man. Man, I love that machine gun. PJ, have you ever played something similar?
I don't think I've played anything close to this, because I don't think I would be good at this game at all. But this is, by far, out of all the ones we've watched, this is probably the most entertaining or entertained that I've been, because it's just so crazy. It seems like everybody does something different. You have all. It seems like you'd use anything to beat anybody with. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It does look like a fun game, but I think I'd be terrible at it.
You know what? This would be fun if possible to play, with a friend.
I would have to play with a friend because I would be the one getting killed all the time.
Man, look at that!
I have to say, I really like the chainsaw. Yeah, yeah.
With that chainsaw, he went completely Ash from the Army of Darkness.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. He actually chainsaw him from the jump from above. That was amazing.
And the physics in this game is just phenomenal.
Then so be it.
He's going to the Tag Town. Tag Town.
At least we're not in Germany. We got a perimeter. Come, boys!
Man, that bat don't play.
Mm-hmm. But now zombies are starting to show up.
She's eating her own heart. That's hilarious.
Now, it could be subjective, but this could be the best game so far.
I really like the mouse one, but this is, like I said, this one.
Oh yeah, I love all of the games. That's why I picked those. Yeah, it can get hectic.
This reminds me of like video game football, where like you just can't stop. You can't, like, it could never stop because you're gonna die.
Like Serious M.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He was supposed
I
to
was
shoot
struggling the whole time, trying to figure out like what game is this like. And when you said that, I was like, that's what it is. Yeah.
Man, he barely survived that bazooka.
He had his own.
Imagine fighting Nazis with a chainsaw. It's got hectic, you know. You have to think fast.
Jeez, that was a wave right there.
Yeah.
It's almost what it was. Almost good.
Oh, I remember this boss. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, let me fast forward and we'll be done soon with this game. Oh, this enemy, let me go a little bit fast, a little bit rewind. This enemy is tough. He's not even a boss, he just comes from the trailer. He's like a monster, like reminds me of the nutty occultic experiments they had, because look at that rat.
Yeah. Are you still in Germany at this point?
I don't know where they at, but I know that they're coming close to the end of the game, because it's becoming the type of enemies are getting crazier. They're not mere people anymore, and it's becoming more and more difficult. Again, for me, this is 10 out of 10 game. It's like so much fun. Okay, PJ, I'll stop here for the sake of time. What are your thoughts on this?
Visually, beautiful game. It looks like chaos nonstop. It does look like fun. I don't think I would have ever made it out of any of those levels. Maybe barring the first little welcome to the game level. But like toward the end when you were showing me like the missiles and stuff, there's no way. I'd have got so frustrated, probably quit this game several times. But that I do that with a lot of games that I still play. No, I liked it. Spiritually, tying that to the Bible, I haven't the faintest idea. Other than you're always facing the onslaught of the world in day in, day out. Just make sure you get all your ammunition and your scripture in hand and face what comes.
Okay, cool. Thanks. This one is one of my favorite types of games when I was a kid. This was one of my favorite genres. So it's a short game. Okay, I'll fast forward a little bit. I love those games when I was a kid. PJ, do you remember 1942 from the arcades?
Loved it. That's so 1942, 1943.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they had a 44. Did they have a 44? Yeah. This is clearly built off of like what is it, like Galactica or something like that. 1942 I loved, but I was also never good. I'm not good at dodging in games, and I think that's where like the other game, like I just run into things. I'm not that efficient. But I do love games like this. I don't stick with games like this because I'm terrible at them and I can't finish them.
Yeah, see, these type of games they would always allow you to play with a friend, and that would be way more fun. We'll be like, hey, I'll stick to the right side, you stick to the left side. What bombs or animals, I get to, live on my side, you can get on your side, and like it will be so much fun.
I like how you're interacting with two dimensions in this game. You're in space, and then you're also shooting things around you, and you're shooting things on the ground, but you're only two-dimensional as the player.
Man, it's so hectic. You can easily get killed here. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I don't know who would survive here. Yeah, but I love this type of games. They're not made anymore. Well, not that many for PC anymore, So it's like, it sucks. I love this game. But visually, it's almost flawless. So back in the 90s, two video games on PC that were in the same genre were Raptor and Tyrion. Both of them were like legendary games, and they're both like this. You would just have your own spaceship, and eventually you will upgrade it, and then you'll be like becoming more powerful, well, just like with every other game. But here, it's not about you; it's about your spaceship, and you'll just go from one part of the same planet, or maybe from one planet to another one, and you'll be just like, killing other spaceships, and of course you have boss at the end of every level. So I always love these games, Adam. So the sound effects of explosion and these like laser-like weapons, I love those sound effects.
I mean, doesn't it seem like you need to kill the little creatures first to protect from the big one?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
So doesn't it seem like you got to kill the little creatures first because it seems like it's protecting the big one?
Yeah, that seems to be the good strategy in many games, especially from those older ones. You first kill those minions, and then you're just focusing on the boss. Wow.
The swarms are insane.
It definitely needs a partner in this game. This is too much for one player.
I literally just saw how little your ship is. It's super tiny. It's just all the light that I'm seeing come off of it.
Yeah, that's a little bit unusual. Look how the camera moves and the angle. It makes you feel like you're like right there in the universe. Like it's almost 3D, yeah.
Yeah, and then now you're fighting this organic looking ship.
That was typical. Like when you see the light pumping in a way, if I can put it that way, and getting bigger, you better move. So would this be on the left side and right side, like the wings of this creature, mechanic creature, or if it's a
That's what it seems like. Yeah, and then like these little bitty spiders. It's crazy.
Man, it's almost like he's fighting a dragon or one of the cryptids. It's like I don't know how to get this. If it's like a biological enemy or a mechanic, or maybe a symbiosis of both.
Yeah, maybe right.
Okay, let me see. He's almost done. Oh yeah. Move, 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 move. Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. Finally.
Did that thing just fall in space? Was it?
Oh wow, this is like Hydra with so many tentacles.
Yeah.
And do you see the waves at the bottom moving?
I do see them. Is that affecting him or just visually?
Yeah, it's so cool. It basically, you know, he's fighting a creature from the, you know, like Cthulhu coming from waters with so many tentacles. Like you can call it Cthulhu, you can call it Leviathan, whatever, but it's so cool. Okay, I'll stop here for the sake of time. What will be your concluding thought of this game, and if you have anything spiritual, theological, and then I speak my mind shortly.
I would play it. Nothing spiritual, theological that I could tie to this without contemplating for a little bit. But I would definitely play that. That looked really well done. And I just like how you interacted with so many dimensions, even though you're you're two-dimensional. The things it seemed like you were in space, but the creatures and the things you were fighting had a very mechanical, organic look to them that just made it a really cool setting.
Yeah, for me, I mean, in this type of games, what can you compare with the Bible and the spiritual, religious, right? But those type two of enemies, one that was that monster coming from the water with so many tentacles, and the previous one that seemed to have wings. They were like demonic wings. That reminds me of cryptids, or you know, Leviathan or Hydra. You know, those biblical / mythological creatures, beasts, enemies. They're like so big compared to the hero, compared to humans. So you would need divine power to go and conquer them. So in this case, there's no divine power. He has a spaceship that he's upgrading and going and shooting. So it's like almost like fighting Godzilla in a way, like but not with divine powers, just with something that you know people would perfect. So I enjoyed the game. I love those type of games. Unfortunately, they're not made much anymore. The next game is visually maybe the most beautiful one. And it's, as I was reading people commenting, it seems to be very challenging when it comes to logical puzzles and you know trying to find solution. But it's such a gorgeous game. Okay, it's called The Last Case of Benedict Fox. And I'm gonna fast forward here a little bit.
It's all dust.
Nec Hercules contra plurus.
What is it?
This table used to bring the whole family together. I can still smell the aroma of their favorite coffee, the taste of good wine, and of their laughter, Benedict.
So, there was a time when the house was filled with joy.
See, that's spiritual right there. There was a time when the family was happy and alive, and now they're dead. The game combines um, action, but also a lot of storytelling and adventure and solving puzzles. It's like a combo of so many different things, and that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, 'cause you're literally going through a house and a destroyed house, or maybe the memories of this house, and you're
Mm,
uncovering whatever this is. Art style's phenomenal. It's I haven't seen something like this.
mm. This is one of those type of games. If you miss the cliff, if you miss the edge, you fall all the way down, and you have to go up again.
Yeah, but at least you don't die from fall damage.
Oh wow! Did you notice the atmosphere changing in a second? Like he's in the underworld or something?
Yeah, this is not a happy ending. Weird.
Oh no!
So he's putting up some kind of force shield wall with his hand to block.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a creepy
I know.
thing.
Yeah, I know I use the word Cthulhu, but I think this is the closest one to Cthulhu because it seems like an ocean or fish-like creature with these tentacles that is
Yeah,
coming from the darkness, from abyss. So I'm like, dude, this is a very Lovecraftian. Maybe not the whole game, but at least this segment is very Lovecraftian.
yeah. I was thinking it reminds me of that what is it, the fish, the lantern fish or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. With all the teeth in the deep sea, that's got that little ball that it lights up.
Mm. I don't think that was enough for the guy to kill that creature. Maybe he just disabled it for a second until he faces him again. Okay, let me fast forward because this game is so cool. We can get lost. Oh my gosh, look at the graphics. Look at the design and the atmosphere. It's like gorgeous.
Yeah, they did that same three-dimensional, put stuff in front of your eyes before the character.
Mm.
That's one of those things from Harry Potter, the bingo route, or I can't remember what they're called.
Okay, let me skip this.
I don't sense a hint of positive.
Nice. Yeah, he was fighting 3 of them, so he needed some nice combos so he can get rid of all of them.
Wolfmers were even more powerful than I thought.
This is another game that has so many layers in the background. You know what? Sometimes when I see a good video game that is original and that they spend so much time and energy perfecting it, video game like this one should be made into a movie or a TV show, and it would be successful because look at how creative it is. So imagine the TV show with some nice budget, what it can do. Just look at the background. It can be horror, fantasy, cosmic horror, adventure, action. You can combine all these elements into that.
Yeah, it would seem like it would portray to be a very abstract show, which would probably be amazing, unless it's put on like a popular TV provider and then they just ruin it.
Yeah, maybe Amazon should not buy that. Maybe someone else.
Yeah, you've already murdered Rings of Power and Wheel of Time. Just leave everything alone, please.
Like a graveyard atmosphere. Like you're there at midnight alone, but you're not alone. That's the worst thing. Okay, supposedly the game can be finished in 4 hours if you're fast with killing the monsters and resolving those logical challenges. But man, I'm so impressed with the game. This is probably the best game so far. That's just my opinion, of course. But I'm taking everything into consideration, not just the visuals, but everything, like the atmosphere, everything. It's like
Maybe just like me, you are a man of little faith. Come to the chapel, Benedict.
Ooh,
we still need
did
to
you
get
hear
out.
that? You say you're men of little.
Order need the ritual.
Benedict, I'm glad you're all right. We can talk at
The chapel to the east at the top. Sure. Now answer the question.
Let's talk face
I'm
to.
not moving until you answer the question.
The order doesn't exactly need the ritual. At least, not as much as I do.
Elaborate.
I need to open a portal.
Why? Just go to limbo anytime you want.
It's not a portal to the limbo.
No. Sure, there might be more dimensions out there, but no one has found a way to access them, and so many have tried.
I think I've stumbled upon the answer. Your father's work proved to be invaluable.
That sounds a bit too crazy, even for me. And I have a demon in my head.
Well then, maybe just like me, you are a man of little faith. Come to the chapel, Benedict. We still need to get out.
Right.
Okay, I'll stop here for the sake of time. PJ, any spiritual biblical thoughts on this?
Well, up until the very last moment, it obviously introduced he's got a demon in his head. And I'm sure that's part of the story in the narrative that unfolds. But you can see that he's tied to this spiritual dimension, and they're trying to, I guess, navigate that and figure out what's going on. There's a lot that could be there that we haven't navigated ourselves. But it's multiple layers. Faith isn't always just us portraying that we have love for Christ and we try to strive to be like Christ. Faith is also those journeys that we have to take.
Yeah, I was about to say that the game for me is 10 out of 10. If I would recommend anyone tonight from all the games we're covering, and there are 2 more left, so we'll come to that number of 8. That game with the Benedict Fox, that's the game I would recommend. Like any time of the day, that's the game I will go to. It has so many spiritual layers with all these spirits, demons. Then his quest to the he didn't use the word purgatory, but he used the word limbo. Then demons, him going the underground, and that demonic huge monster that looks like Cthulhu. The game is very spiritual in that aspect, very religious. And the Benedict being the good guy, trying to solve the dilemmas and enigmas. And of course, we skipped the intro, but as we saw, his father is also involved in this story. So it just makes me think how many layers of story are there involved in the game. But the game seems to be really phenomenal, and too bad that AAA studios cannot come up with original stories like that. But little indie studios, their games are many times better than those games that you have to pay $100 to play. That's ridiculous. That's why we are dedicating this segment to honor all those artists who are trying to make their name out there, when the competition is so difficult and wild. So, all the compliments to all the games, especially with the Benedict Fox. Okay, this is, we have this game and another game. I picked this game because it's another game that reminds me of my childhood.
Yes, absolutely.
It was one of those scrolling beat 'em up games where you can play 1, 2, 3, or 4 players. Now they're playing as 2, and you're just moving, from left to right, and just fighting. I also loved these games when I was a kid. I would spend so many coins on the arcades playing this, type of games, like Cadillacs and the Dinosaurs, like Final Fight. So many games of this sort were popular. And this is a new game.
Dude, this is a straight continuation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mhm.
All right.
It's very 90s. Yeah.
Who is your turtle?
Yep.
Who is your
my
turtle?
favorite one? I love the geeky one. I love Donatello because he was like the.
That's who I love. The boat death, man. Donatello. He was it. That's crazy. Nobody else has ever told me that. I was always Donatello.
Wait. Was that his name? I forgot.
Donatello is the staff. Leo is the sword. Michelangelo is the nunchucks. And Raphael is the scythe.
Yeah. Can you see this?
Yeah, dude. Donatello. Man.
Yeah.
See, that's why you ended up in my book. Right there.
I got him. I only bought him. I didn't want to buy everything because I was like, I don't care to have the whole collection. When I saw him, but I have to buy it.
That's epic. This is awesome. I'll play this every day, and I would imagine this is multiple. just like the first.
This cave gives me the creeps.
Ooh, did you see that whirlwind? And I bet you can fall in that sewer opening, and you can lose your energy.
You could end up losing. And look, I think it's up to 3 players because they still got press to join on that third.
Yeah, or even maybe 4. Who knows?
Even 4, that would be
if a
awesome.
player would join, maybe there would be another option for the 4th one.
Hey.
That's so cool. I'm trying to see if I can find like a boss fight. We have to wait a little bit. Of course, it's always these 2 guys. Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, man, I was like, man, what's their names? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the graphics are slightly enhanced to what they were, but they still did a really fantastic job. The continue, that's awesome.
Yeah, they went fully 90s, and they went and they're staying faithful to the lore of the game, because they just, before one of the turtles died, he got pizza, and then he resurrected, right? He continued living. That's so fun. Let me forward a little bit. Ooh, I like that Suno wrestling moves. That's funny.
So we were going to get a boss fight.
Yeah, I don't know if it's coming now. Oh, that's Krang's head. Krang, whatever way you pronounce it.
You're gonna get the horns, partner. Can you dig it, suckers?
I don't know these characters.
I recognize them, but I don't remember them so much.
Yeah, Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. Yeah, I don't remember them. See, in this type of games, beat 'em up scrolling games, you usually, when you would press 2 times fast to move forward, your character was able to run. And if you would combine that move with an action move, then you'll get like a super combo move or something. You will do some special move that will take extra energy to the opponent. Okay, let me fast forward a little bit. Ooh. I'm surprised they always keep choosing the same characters. Like, why not Donatello and Michelangelo? Why always Raphael and Leonardo? Even when they die, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a cool ad. Feeding them pizza. I didn't see that before. I saw where they picked it up themselves, and that was cool.
See, I'm waiting to see if there's April O'Neil and Splinter. Like, maybe April O'Neil will be kidnapped, like one of those classic stories, and if Splinter will become to help them or something. But dude, this will be so much fun with a friend.
Get ready for some wicked warfare! I'll handle this.
Okay, I'll skip a little bit because I want to be done with this game soon. Ooh, I like that move, the spinning thing.
Deep breath.
Right. These creatures remind me like the thing from the Marvel universe from Fantastic Four.
Deep breath.
Okay, I'll stop here because we have one more game. PJ, you like the game?
Love this game. This is.
I know.
This brings back so many memories. Like,
yeah,
I love it. So, yeah. So God made turtles, and radiation's evil, but God works good and evil toward the better of good. And then we had Ninja Turtles, and they go out and fight evil. So, problem solved.
Yeah, I seriously can't put anything biblical when it comes to the game, except that, yeah, like you have good guys trying to fight the bad guys, and basically, like that's the main theme of so many religions, novels, horror fictional stories. Try to defeat the evil with any means you have. Okay, the last game is first-person shooter. Another great indie game. It's Project Warlock. They had one, but I picked number 2, which didn't come out that long ago, a couple of years ago. So let us analyze quickly. It's only hour and a half of the gameplay, so that's interesting.
Fuck shades, full games, no commentary.
You're right where I want you.
Instantly, I'm back in Doom, classic Doom.
Yeah,
graphics, and I could see monsters.
Yeah.
Man, what was that game that we first did that we were like, man, this is like Doom on steroids?
Yeah, I think it was Forgive Me Father too.
Yeah, that was an excellent game.
Yeah, we dedicated like 2 hours on that game, and I'm thinking, I don't know if we have the luxury of always giving 2 hours to one single game. So that's why I was thinking, like what we're doing today, to cover shorter games. We're doing multiple titles in one episode. Otherwise, we will never finish this because they keep making great new games. Unless it's a AAA, really good quality title. Like there's a new Avalon game, which is like a first-person game with like magic and swords and stuff. For that, I may give 2 hours, but not for every game. In this type of games, you shoot first, then you think after that.
Yeah, I would just be shooting in the dark, like even now, like he's killing things before I even see them. I would die so much in this game.
Well, it's all about practice. That doesn't mean he's a better gamer, but people do this also for money. Some people have gaming channels and they basically live off of that. So it's in their job to get all these games and to be good at gaming, because they have to keep their audience happy.
Yeah. So obviously I've gamed since, and but don't get me wrong, like GoldenEye launched me into like shooters and stuff like that, on 64. That's my ringtone to this day. Is GoldenEye 64. But I guess I embraced the RPG side things, that it's like a slower paced. So when I had like Xbox and all that, I was playing with my buddies. I would die constantly, or they were coming to run to my success. I couldn't shoot. Like it was, everybody's like, "Okay, I'll babysit PJ. Y'all go take care of this."
Okay, have you played Doom 2 and Quake 1?
I think I played Quake 1, and the only Doom I played was the very first.
Okay, but I was in a high school, probably finishing high school, and a friend of mine introduced me to the computers and to gaming on computers, and I got mine when barely anyone had it. My parents bought me because I was so obsessed with games, with PC, I was just learning. And then I remember once that another friend bought it, and my old buddy and I went to this guy's house, and we were like installing and testing and playing games. And we were playing either Doom 2 or Quake, and the guy who had the new computer, when two of us went to his house, he was having headaches from games like this, 3D games with fast pace and shooting monsters. He couldn't look for too long, not even game. He couldn't look for too long. He would have headache. He would have to go and lay down.
So I find like I get eye fatigue in first-person shooters, and I think that's why I don't play them. It's the rapid screen change, and I get eye fatigue, and then I'll get a headache, but nothing like that severe. Like it would take me like 4 to 6 hours of playing this game for that to happen. But if I take this game and I put it out into third person, I don't get that eye strain. It's just the quick movements that mess me up. And I guess
I'm also thinking, could it be based on the hardware that we have? Like, for example, if we don't have a good screen that has enough, refreshing rate, and the video card that can afford that can, be in sync with that type of a monitor. That helps a lot when it comes to the vision, not just the atmosphere and enjoying the game, and there'll be minimum lag, but also helps with with your eyes not being so much having pain, and you feel like you're being tortured. So I don't know if that also has to do with it, because in the 90s, computer technology was very, very obsolete. Even back then, it was very
rudimentary.
Those computer screens were like, you could feel radiation, you could feel like eye pain and headaches. I'm not saying that doesn't happen with modern technology, but we came so far in the last few decades. So yeah, I don't know if my friend ever overcame that problem, or he maybe even stopped playing those type of games, permanently. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Like you're saying, that definitely does help. And I've looked into that for refresh rate. The higher the refresh rate, the easier it is on your eyes. You could get those glasses that filter out the blue. That helps your eyes.
Ooh, that's a tough opponent. I have to admit, we can't cover any other game anymore. But I play a couple of indie games on this type of first person shooter, and maybe we'll cover one of them next time. One was called Metal Hellsinger, one was called Warhammer 40K Bolgan, and one was called Proteus. And man, all three of them were so fun. Proteus was probably the closest to this one, not completely, but in some ways. So because I like those type of games, I would probably play this one as well.
Yeah, so I probably wouldn't play this one only because it's so fast paced. I could do first person, but it has to be a slower paced game. But like I'm so
Well, maybe
like,
maybe you would like a little bit more tactical, also to have occasional, coming behind the enemy, trying like to stab him or kill him
absolutely.
some other ways. Sniper, okay.
Yeah, it's just these overwhelming. It's like the overwhelming odds shooters. It's too much for me. It looks fun. It looks amazing, but I know I'm terrible at it. And then it'd take me probably 20 tries to get through the first level.
Man, look at the weapons. Usually in this type of games, there's a heavy metal music present, but now I can't. I'm not saying there's not, but it's not non-stop like in some other games. Yeah, the heavy metal music would bring to the atmosphere. Oh yeah, will help promote it. I can see people who have problem with claustrophobia and not willing to play these games, being very anxious. I can see that. Oh, there is some music. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. Man, that was cool. Okay, I'll stop here. I just want to say one thing. Back in the day, someone made the joke and said, "Hey, listen, Doom games, especially Doom, is probably the most Christian game ever, because you kill so many demons and monsters. So like you're doing God's work." And of course, it's a joke, but became a slogan among Christian religious gamers who like, yeah, I'm just doing God's work. I'm killing demons. So I was thinking that while I was watching the gaming of this game, I'm like, yeah, if you want to do God's work and you want a game, this is one of those games. Yeah, what is your impression of this game?
Again, beautiful rendered game. The weapons were awesome. The enemies looked awesome. It looks like if I had talent, this would be a very fun game to play. Other than I know this would destroy destroy my eyes after so many hours of playing. But if you're a first-person shooter like you are, this is probably way up your alley, dude. I will not be surprised if you tell me in a couple months, like, hey, I played that Project Warlock 2, and it was amazing, So yeah, I see the appeal to it for sure. I just know I'm not that person to tackle this game.
Yeah, I would say again, except killing monsters. I mean, I don't know what is the theme, and we don't see the intro. I cannot make many biblical religious motives or parallels, except like, hey, you're being a hero and cleansing the space and making it more sacred by annihilating all the abomination that comes from the deep, all these monsters and demons. So yeah. Anyway, this was interesting, PJ. We managed to cover in 2 hours 8. One of the best, amazing indie games. We will do this in the future more. We can't do this very often because it will have to be based on both your availability and also our schedule. Because usually Sean and I cover some, fringe topics on Friday, but he was busy tonight. So thank you so much for jumping in and, helping me with having something fun that we don't have to prepare so much when it comes to this. I also want to say tomorrow, Sean and I will analyze the latest Jordan Peterson debate against 20 atheists. It's an episode you can easily find on YouTube that lasts almost 2 hours. So we'll be covering that tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time. Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, I will be welcoming a Christian book author who wrote the book on biblical theology. So we'll be talking about Genesis, Exodus, and many motives and concepts in the first few books of the Bible that has to do with the sea monster, with chaos, with many explanations of how, that would help us how to properly read and understand the Bible. If it's in your heart, please click, like, subscribe, send some comment. It helps our videos and the algorithm on the YouTube. Please also support PJ and his work. I provided links in the description of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you see, if you're Christians, that you can use gaming, maybe not, if not for God's glory, unless you're developing games, but you can still have fun and having biblical worldview. So if your pastor, maybe your parents are too legalistic or very, very fundamentalist, I'm not saying disobey them. I would never say that, but I would say, hey, maybe you can, if you would explain to them that you can see these things with a different angle, especially coming, as a religious person and having worldview based on the Bible. You don't have to see that everything is sinful and seeing a demon behind every rock. You can actually say, hey, I can enjoy this type of art, knowing my limits, knowing my boundaries, but still enjoying in something like gaming, which is a hobby. PJ, any concluding thoughts before we're done with this episode?
No, that's hard to top that. Love the games. I kind of like covering 8 in 2 hours. That was really fun. Again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate being on here. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody, So I appreciate it, and thank you for the time that you give me, and hope to do some more of these in the future.
Yeah, like I said, when we were starting this episode 2 hours ago, I made a list of over 50 titles, and I will be probably expanding that list whenever I find about some cool indie title. And because I'm like, there's no way we'll dedicate 1.5 hours or 2 hours per game. We will need eternity just to finish with games. And I'm like, but what about other topics? I don't want to just, this is not a gaming channel, even though I love games. I don't want to just, talk about that. So I think this helps us make up the time that we, when we didn't cover so many cool games. So like we can see glimpses. We don't have to cover 2 hours usually in those 10-15 minutes per game. People can see, hey, is this game worthy of buying? Should I go and support this publishing company, this author, this type of game, or maybe should I save my money and go buy something else? So I hope this will help people both when it comes to gaming as Christians, but also like, hey, I have extra $30-$40, recommend a game. So hopefully they can pick for themselves when it comes to for these 8 titles. That being said, God bless you. God bless also you, PJ, and we shall see you tomorrow and Sunday. More episodes to come. Take care.
Later.